It's the date and time that it is, and this upload is with regard to the incessant effort of repeat offenders in my community that are refusing to prevent themselves from perverting my protection and proximity rights. There are individuals that have been in my proximity that have no right to be within a 20 kilometre, if not more, of a radius from where I am in the southwest of Ireland in Tralee town. So there's an issue of repeat offenders that are of slander, that are not addressing their wrongdoings and that are exacerbatory instead. So the exacerbation has been, as I keep reiterating, their intrusion and their discomfort and disharmony that they're causing in society due to property that they have no right to and due to their failings and wrongdoings that they're incapable of addressing. So as a sacred royal, as I'm of royal patronage, as I've worked for 3 state departments with a clean track record, no criminal activity, there's a very big issue about individuals in very close proximity where they shouldn't be at all. So this contravenes every means and manner of jurisdiction, and it contravenes new reforms and legislation. So there are people being quite cheeky with the offences that they're causing, thinking they're above the law. These people think they're above the law and they'll just walk into people's lives, families and properties without any permission or consent. So the issue I'm raising in this upload is the disturbances of the peace that I'm experiencing and the issue of repeat offenders in very close proximity to me where they have no right to be. And for the past 5-6 years, GSOC, DPP, Department of Justice, fully aware of the offences that I'm experiencing without any redress. So as a teacher that has worked for the state Department of Education and Science since 2003, this issue is quite insulting to educators. It's also quite insulting to the role of proprietorship and ancestry of my marital property that individuals have caused quite a stir about, and it's also quite insulting to children's rights. So there are people in my proximity and they are not legally within remit and they are disturbing the peace and they are of repeat offences and slander, and it's a sad sign of the times that a mother is being violated to accommodate repeat incidents of fraud and theft in Ireland, and that the exacerbation of bodily integrity damages and spiritual violence, the villainy that has been at play in this circumstance is absolutely deplorable. So it brings into question the land of saints and scholars and the reputation and representation of this country, unfortunately. So the issue of individuals perverting my privacy, slandering my good name and my good work, and as I said, in my proximity and of repeat offences, the United Nations has been made aware of the problems being caused in Tralee, County Kerry since my son was illegally withheld from me in January 2017. So the problems are worsening with these liabilities in society, not being held accountable for their offences, not being held accountable for the reparations that they owe, not being held accountable for their nonsense, not being held accountable for their wrongdoings. So this is happening since I gave birth in 2015, and I'd appreciate the United Nations sitting up to this situation. It's absolutely deplorable that repeat offenders are in that much proximity where they shouldn't be, and that they are of repeat offences. So as a mother that has worked for the betterment of society, as of humanitarian protection, and as of the President's Office and the Duke of Edinburgh Award, all of these I've worked tirelessly for society, and as a recovery advocate for the Fellowship of Sanity and Sobriety, and as a teacher, these individuals that are liable and that are liabilities in my proximity and that are hazardous to so many other people's lives, to evade their debts that they owe me. It's quite serious, and to be just procuring property that they have no right to and withholding the child I gave birth to. This is absolutely deplorable what's going on in Tralee County, Kerry, Ireland. So I hope the United Nations knows what is what with the entire situation that I'm experiencing, and that they are obligated to ensure that the Human Rights Declaration is still being respected during COVID, and that women and children's rights are being respected in particularly, and that applies to my beautiful child that I gave birth to that's illegally withheld. So the Ombudsman for Children have been made aware since 2017, and this problem's just worsening with the incompetence and the audacity of repeat offenders that have just tarnished my farm holdings. They've just tarnished my property, and they've disrespected my heritage of that property that goes back to the 1700s. So I hope the United Nations knows it's required in Tralee County, Kerry, due to individuals that are trespassing into a building where they have no right to be and disturbing the peace and causing disharmony.